Bandits abduct 13 persons in Katsina, cut away properties worth millions. Kano High Court sentences Chinese national to death for killing girlfriend. Labour Party dares NLC and insists on Wednesday convention. On the foreign scene, U.S. bridge collapses after ship collision. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Sumaya Abubakar. The details. Now, 13 persons, including 12 married women and a man, are said to have been kidnapped in a fresh bandit attack at Kurechin-Gie village of Makera ward in Dutz-Ema local government area of Katsina State. During the invasion, the hoodlums scattered away properties worth millions of naira belonging to the resident. A resident said that the hoodlums were armed with dangerous and sophisticated weapons and invaded the village late Monday. Although the government and other security authorities in the state are yet to comment on the issue, the resident said during the attack, which lasted for hours, there was no security intervention or reinforcement. Now, earlier we had a phone discussion with Trust TV reporter Abdullahi Ahmadi in Katsina State, who gives us an update. Take a listen.
Well, like you said, Kurechin-Gie in Dutz-Ema local government is one of the remote communities. And the rampaging bandits attacked late Monday evening when residents were preparing to break their fast. The bandits were said to be looking for some residents of the village who are members of the local vigilante group in Dutz-Ema. And in the process, they looted houses, carted away food items and other valuables, beside abducting 12 women and 12 people, among them 11 women and one man, as well as rustling several animals in the process. And of course, the worst part of this attack is that the merciless bandits poured hot porridge or pop, if you like, on some children, inflicting severe injuries on them, even though they were rushed to Dutz-Ema General Hospital, where they are receiving medical attention at the moment. And like you said, they operated for at least 2 hours without intervention. And this, some of the residents attributed to communication issues, because it could be so because a source close to police authorities in Dutz-Ema said the police came to know about the attack almost an hour after the operation. The Katsina police spokesman, ASP Abubakar Sadiq, said the command is aware of the attack and he's waiting for some details from the Dutz-Ema Divisional Police headquarters before going to the press. So this is the situation at the moment.
So how are the communities taking all of this? I mean, we've heard of the situation where Katsina already have the vigilante corps, you know, that in order to keep their own society and communities safe. So is, you know, this community that has been attacked, is there no plan for that kind of security?
Well, community. And I think it is sharing boundaries with Musa and, of course, Safana local government, which all of these local governments have this local security, community security, what's called. But I think the issue has to do with this communication something, because had it been communicated well, maybe the local security watch corps, and of course the vigilante group would have provided reinforcement for the villagers.
So the network was the issue.
You say?
The network was the problem.
Yes, this according to many residents of the Kurechin Gear. They said they tried calling security operatives, but unfortunately due to network issue, they could not succeed in doing that.
A Kano State High Court sitting in Mila Road has sentenced a Chinese national to death by hanging after being convicted for killing his girlfriend. Late Umo Kulsum Buhari was said to have been killed by the Chinese man at her residence in Regia Zaki area of Kano Metropolis after some misunderstanding. Kano State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Haruna Isa, says justice has been served over the case that lasted for almost 2 years after the killing of Umita.
The court has just handed down its verdict, and Frank has been convicted and sentenced accordingly for the offense he has committed. And that puts an end to the matter. For us, it is the end of the road for us. For him, he may likely exploit other avenues as the law has provided. And we are ready when he decides so to do. Anybody can do that. Even you, as a citizen, can write formally and, request that a certain individual should be extended that kind of favor. And the court has done no wrong by doing that.
The Edo State Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Tony Eziegbemi, has been released after being kidnapped by a gang of gunmen near his home in Benin City. He was set free by his abductors in the early hours of Tuesday and returned to his Benin City residence around 3 a.m. The special advisor for media project to the Edo State Governor, Crusoe Osage, confirmed the release. He was the former member of the House of Representatives from the Eastern Northeast, Eastern Southeast Federal Constituency of Edo State. In politics, the leadership of the Labour Party said it won't rescind the decision to hold its contentious national convention on Wednesday as planned. The development comes 2 days after the party formally petitioned relevant government institutions requesting an urgent intervention to protect the party against further aggression from the Nigerian Labour Congress. In the 4 separate letters written to the Secretary to the government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, Ministry of Labour and Employment, and Registrar of Trade Unions. The party also called for disciplinary actions to be taken against the NLC President, Joe Ajaero, other union leaders who spearheaded the alleged vandalization of its properties. The ongoing conflict over the control of the party escalated last Wednesday when members of the union, acting on the directive of the NLC leadership, picketed LP secretariats across the country. The Federal Executive Council has approved the institutionalization of a 10% youth quota in all government appointments and an equitable young women representation. The Minister of Youth, Dr. Jamila Ibrahim, disclosed this at the end of the 4th FEC meeting on Monday in Abuja. The report.
The Minister of Youth said that the Council also approved the structure of the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund and the revamping of the Youth Investment Fund.
Well, this will go a long way to address the long marginalization and exclusion of young people in decision making, and will also go a long way to encourage young people to participate in decision-making processes and in civic engagements. This will in turn lead to young people contributing tremendously to national development agenda.
She added that the quota would encourage young people to participate in decision-making processes and in civic engagements. Meanwhile, FEC has approved the setting up of an infrastructure fund to be known as the Renewed Hope Infrastructure Fund. This followed a projection that Nigeria will require over $878 billion to bridge infrastructural deficits in the country.
So this innovative fund consolidates existing resources to drive economic growth and connectivity across sectors like transport, agriculture, aviation, and education and other social. It aims for inclusive progress, leaving no community behind. And this is expanding the initial Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund.
The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, said the projects were approved by FEC, having gone through the Office of Public Procurement and Certificate of No Objection secured.
Anambra residents call out State Governor Charles Soludo after heavy downpour washed off a road commissioned weeks ago. The residents of Anambra State have called out the State Governor Charles Soludo after the heavy downpour washed off the asphalt on a road that was commissioned some weeks ago. A video that has gone viral showed the Ochanja Market Road constructed by Governor Chukwuma Soludo's administration washed off, with residents of the state berating the state government. Meanwhile, the state government hasn't yet reacted to the video. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) Commandant General's Special Intelligence Squad has uncovered a 500,000 liters of crude oil reservoir at Odagwa community in Eche local government area of Rivers State. The Rivers State Command spokesperson of NSCDC, Olufemi Ayodele, who paraded some of the suspects arrested during the raid of the oil bunkering site in Port Harcourt, said that its men also discovered over 10 illegal refineries. He said that the discovery was achieved based on credible intelligence. He said that the NSCDC will continue to work assiduously in the fight against crude oil theft, illegal mining, illegal dealings in petroleum products, among others, across the country. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, universities back to life as SANU and NASU, NAT, and industrial action. This and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. We brought you bandits abduct 13 persons in Katsina, cut away properties worth millions. Kano High Court sentences Chinese national to death for killing girlfriend. Now moving on to more stories. Following the decision of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, to jack up the 2024 Hajj fare by 1.9 million naira, many intending pilgrims on Monday asked the State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Boards to refund their deposit. This is just as prominent civil society organizations and stakeholders called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to save this year's Hajj from flopping. NACON on Sunday increased the fare for this year's pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia by 1.9 million naira while setting a deadline of March 28, 2024. NACON had in December 2023 fixed a fare of 4.9 million naira pilgrimage based on an exchange rate of 897 naira to dollar. Life has returned to the federal universities across the country following the suspension of the one-week warning strike over salary arrears. At the University of Lagos, our correspondent reports that members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, were seen at their duty on Monday. Victoria Tokolo has more in this report.
The Joint Action Committee Union, comprising the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, and the National Association of Academic Technologists on Monday called off their 7-day warning strike as they all resumed at their duty posts. The 7-day warning strike, which began on Monday, 18th of March 2024, was initiated due to withheld salaries.
This strike is not on suspension. It's a 7 days warning strike. And we have engaged in the strike. The strike ended midnight of yesterday. So that strike has been achieved. If the government does not attend to our demands, it is the national body that will also call for a national meeting. And at the end of the meeting, a decision will be taken whether to go on another 14 days warning strike or 21 days warning strike or indefinite strike. It depends on the directive of the national body. We don't have the final say. It's the directive of the national that is guiding our decisions here.
For my own union, which is NASU, it only lasted for 4 months. Same with SANU, because we went under the umbrella of JAC. And then Ngige came up with the no work, no payment policy. But last year, after the election, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in and he said he's given a 4-month waiver for all the university-based unions, irrespective of their affiliations. And to our surprise, the man who was like a mediator then, former House of Representative Speaker, Honorable Femi Gbadabiamila, now the Chief of Staff to the President, single-handedly wrote to the Makata General to pay only ASU. I mean, who does that? 4 unions went on strike, and now you are writing to the Accountant General to pay only 1 out of those 4 unions, segregating the other 3 unions. It's not fair. So that was what led to these 7 days protest, which was directed by our national body.
Despite the lack of a formal agreement, all non-teaching staff across federal universities in the country have returned to work following a directive from the national body. Their hope is that the federal government will engage more constructively with their leaders to resolve the salary payment issues at Wednesday's meeting between the unions and the federal government.
From the foreign scene, the Francis Scott Key Bridge in the U.S. city of Baltimore has collapsed after a ship collided with it. The Maryland Transportation Authority said the incident happened early on Tuesday and urged drivers to avoid the route over the Patapsco River, which is called an active scene. A police spokesperson from the Baltimore Police Department added victims who were possibly in the river. Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott and Baltimore County Executive Johnny Obzworski Jr. both said they were aware of the incident and that rescue efforts were underway.
News that we have here on Sky News relating to the bridge that has collapsed in Baltimore after a large boat collided with the bridge. A portion of it has now collapsed into the water. It's the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. It's collapsed after the large container boat.
Kenya authorities are due on Tuesday to release the bodies of several people linked to a doomsday starvation cult in a case that shocked the country and the world. The remains are the first to be handed over to their families after nearly a year of painstaking work to identify them using DNA. Hundreds of bodies, including those of children, have been exhumed from shallow mass graves discovered in April last year in a remote wilderness island from the Indian Ocean town of Malindi. Self-professed pastor Paul Intenge Mackenzie is alleged to have incited his followers to starve to death in order to meet Jesus in what has been dubbed the Shakahola Forest Massacre. A number of the 429 bodies exhumed between April and October last year have been positively identified through DNA profiling and are due to be released to families for burial. The Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, a state-backed body, last week deplored the slow process and accused authorities of withholding the result on grounds of security. In sports, the federal government has rewarded Nigerian athletes who reached the podium at the 13th African Games, which ended on Sunday in Ghana. According to the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration has rewarded gold medalists with the sum of $3,000, while silver and bronze medalists got $2,000 and $1,000 respectively. Coaches will get $5,000 for gold, $2,500 for silver, and $1,000 for bronze. The athletes put up exceptional performances to make the country proud, finishing second on the medal table with a total of 122 medals comprising 47 gold, 33 silver, and 42 bronze. Egypt emerged as the overall winner with a total of 191 medals comprising 102 gold, 47 silver, and 42 bronze. International forward Gabriel Barbosa was on Monday suspended for 2 years for attempted fraud during a doping test. A Brazilian sports court said the 27-year-old Brazilian was alleged to have been uncooperative during a surprise doping test at club headquarters in Rio de Janeiro. The punishment, which can be appealed, is backdated to April 8 last year when the event occurred. The court added that Gabigol failed to comply with the schedule, disrespected the doping officers, and refused to obey instruction. On a sad note, All Progressive Congress, the APC aspirant in the 2024 governorship election in Ondo State, Dr. Paul Akite-Lure, is dead. The spokesperson of the APC in Ondo State, Oladapo Akite-Lure, confirmed the incident. The medical doctor turned politician had raised alarm about both direct and indirect threats to his life. Akinte-Lure was a Lagos-based private medical practitioner and hailed from Igbotako in Okitipupa local government area of Ondo State. And with that, we have come to the end of News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.